Where does the SEC draw the line on ETF approval for all these other cryptos? Let's bring in Anthony Scaramucci, crypto expert and founder of Skybridge Capital. It's a good question, Anthony. Do you think we will get, say, an Ether ETF? And if yes, how far down the line do we go?
Well, I want to be an OG on Brian Coin, so I'm going to send you my cell phone number.
It's worthless.
Give me a heads up. I want to make sure I'm in there.
But BS Coin.
As it relates to ETH, the deadline is in May, and so it'll be very interesting to see what happens because the cabal is sort of the axis of regulatory evil. This would be Gary Gensler and Senator Elizabeth Warren. They don't want to follow the D.C. Circuit or the laws that are actually in place. And so, the law states very clearly you can't be arbitrary and capricious as a regulator. You've already got an ETH futures, the same way you had a Bitcoin futures back in November of 2021. So the deadline is in May. It would make sense for them to approve it. Now, could they do procedural things to delay it? Sure, they did that. It cost investors money, and it left a lot of people in grayscale those very high fees, so on and so forth. I'm hoping that they approve it in May, but I'm skeptical of these people until they're eventually removed from office.
Okay. Well, by the way, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and I don't think I have the tweet in front of me, so I'm not going to quote it because I don't have it. I'm just going to summarize it. Came out and basically criticized the SEC for this. I mean, there we go. Oh, great work, guys. I'll read this to you if you missed it. The SEC is wrong on the law and wrong on the policy with respect to the Bitcoin ETF decision. If the SEC is going to let crypto burrow even deeper into our financial system, then it's more urgent than ever that crypto follow basic anti-money laundering rules. That's actually not from tonight, or I think it was maybe earlier today.
Yeah, it was
What's your
tonight.
take on it? What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, she feels like she's now bought and paid for by the National Banking Association. So maybe they wrote that tweet for her, I don't know. But here's what I really think about her. She knows better. She was a Harvard Law School professor. She understands the law. She understands the legal precedents. She understands the administrative law, but she doesn't like the law. And so that's why she's saying that. And this is the wonderful thing about our country. We have a decentralized government, a very flat system, lots of checks and balances. These two autocratic type of people, Gensler and Warren, tried to block something that was in place and tried to block something that the public wanted. You may remember the Uber situation. The regulators did not want Uber, but the people wanted Uber, and the people went out in a democracy. And so these two guys, they will go on the ash heap of regulatory history eventually, thank God. And this industry is here to stay. It will flourish and grow. And as Kathy said, this is a layer, and these are protocols that we're going to be using to de-layer financial services, make it cheaper, and really help the underbanked out there that Elizabeth Warren is supposedly for, but she's obviously not anymore.
Okay, outside of the regulatory issue, something kind of interesting.
If you can get her to debate me on your show, I'll come anytime, any place. So just throwing that out there, because I know she debated my mentor, Ken Langone, one day on Squawk. If you can get her on the show, love to debate her. I'm sure she's a nice person, but she is really off base on this stuff.
Yep, got a lot of respect for the senator, so happy to put the offer out there. Outside of that, it was a little weird today. First day of trading, great. Bitcoin up, but the ETFs went down. Any idea why?
Well, I think there was a lot of selling from Grayscale. So Grayscale has high fees there. People are trying to find a lower fee solution. Some of those people, I think, Kate is right. They're not going to sell because they've got these low bases. They don't want to pay the taxes. But there's a lot of people in there that may have losses. Or maybe they bought Bitcoin 50, 60,000 in the Grayscale Trust, and they were unloading that today. And so, it was a net flattish behavior. But what I really did like is over $3 billion of net inflows into Bitcoin. And of course, remember, Wall Street's in a quiet period on an ETF like this. They really can't get the marketing engines fired up for a little while. And once they do, I predict that these prices will reach all-time highs.